Okay, today we're going to learn about seasons and what causes them. So we're going to be in our textbook on page 142. I know some of you did not get your textbooks with, so I'm going to read your textbook to you, and I'm just going to video your book right here so you can follow along. And we're going to be learning today what causes the seasons, what doesn't cause the seasons. A lot of people think that because the earth does not revolve around the sun in a perfect circle, it kind of is an oval shape, as you can tell down here. They think that it is summer when you are closest to the sun, and it is winter when the earth is farthest away from the sun, but that actually is not true. So let's learn exactly what causes those seasons. All right, so we're going to start at the top of page 142. As the earth revolves around the sun, many areas experience 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and winter are characterized by variable temperatures, weather patterns, and length of daylight. This change of seasons is caused by the tilt of the earth as it rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. The planet's tilt affects where the sunlight shines on the earth. For example, sunlight shines on Earth most directly at the equator and least directly at the north and the south poles. All right, so if you look down here, and you can see that the Earth is tilted, shows this axis, which again is an imaginary line through the Earth. There is no pole that goes right through the Earth, but you can see that the Earth is tilted. It's not going straight up and down, it's tilted 23.5 degrees. So this tilt away from and towards the sun, that is what causes our seasons. So for instance, if I were up here living in the northern hemisphere, during this season right here, I'm tilted further away from the sun than the southern hemisphere. So when the earth would be at this point in its rotation around the sun, it would be winter, because you can see it's going to get a whole lot less sunlight than the southern hemisphere. But now if I'm in the southern hemisphere right now, it would be summertime for me. On the other hand, over here is when the northern hemisphere would be having its summer and the southern hemisphere would be having its winter. So it all has to do with that tilt of the axis. And then we have spring, and then we have fall. These are when neither of the Earth's hemispheres is tilted towards the sun, okay, during these two. Okay, so it's going to depend where you are on Earth. At the same time that we are having summer, someone who is living in the southern hemisphere would be having their summer when we're having our winter. It's the opposite. All right, so what about people that are living in around the equator? All right, when you are in the equator, remember this Earth is rotating while it revolves. So in its rotation every day, all right, even though it's rotating during the day, it still is tilted away from the sun in its revolution. So people who live near the equator do not experience 4 distinct seasons. Instead, they just have alternating wet and dry seasons, because you can see during the day it's getting direct sunlight, and the night it's not. The same with over here. It gets direct sunlight during the day, and during the night it does not. There's never a time when the equator really is tilted away from or towards the sun. So that's why if you live in the equator, you do not have those 4 distinct seasons. Okay, so those living near the north and the south poles, during the summertime, you're going to have those living near the north and south poles have short summers and long winters. The sun provides light for 24 hours a day for most of the summer season, although the sun remains low in the sky. During the polar region's winter season, it is continually dark for months. So you can see, for instance, if you are living in the northern hemisphere right here, and this Earth is rotating on its axis, Even though it is daytime, you're still not getting hardly any sunlight the closer you are to this North Pole. Same as the South Pole over here. When it's rotating, it's dark most of the time, okay? They call that the midnight sun. All right, so let's pause there.